I want to just say this. I want to say this about Australia. The fact that you are soft is not because you're from Australia.
Yes.
I mean, just
right.
like
yeah,
for people calling you a soft Aussie,
no,
it's unfair.
soft,
It's yeah, you're just soft in general.
Soft independence.
Oh, no. Oh, no. That's a Diet Coke.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'll keep us going while Matthew cleans up the mess.
Go to a single shot of Jay, for the love of God, while I clean this up. Let's be clear. We're going to see that again. We'll see that clip again. I'm almost positive that's Adam's going to use that as the open tomorrow, which is great. Can't wait to see that as well.
Over
Here you go,
cleanliness.
Matthew. You can have my notes.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
I appreciate that.
I saved your iPad.
Look at it. Look, there you go. There it is. Here's a replay.
Look at the sheer panic on my face.
Here's the rep. That's stupid Dev.
No.
This is that stupid Dev's X. If anyone wants to follow him as well.
Emmy
That's
Award
really
winning.
well done. Emmy Award winning stupid Dev.
More than I have.
Unbelievable. Look at that. You can't play it enough.
Oh,
good Lord. I'm a moron.
Fantasy Football Happy Hour with Matthew Berry.
Welcome to the Fantasy Football Happy Hour. Happy Waiver Wire Day.
Yeah.
A clean desk.
Yeah. Long drive home in the Dike Coke pants. Long drive home for your boy Matty.
Your body
here.
naturally doesn't soak it up.
And by the way, it's a pretty good insult to Jay as well. And then like
you were going somewhere.
I don't know what happened there. I mean, I guess I lost.
Karma. The karma bus got you. Karma bus got you wet.
Might have been.
Listen, there's two things. One, you use Kate Blanchett's name in vain. That's what happens. The ghost of Kate Blanchett, she's still alive, but the ghost of Kate Blanchett will get you. And secondly, that's the second time you spilled your drink in 3 weeks. On the show, though in Philadelphia it wasn't your fault, to be fair.
Yeah. The wind. Yeah,
that's an act of God.
That was an act.
But still, the fact remains, twice in 3 weeks you spilled.
You have a track record.
Yeah.
SEC man, the sloppy drunkler.
Yeah.
I preferred D. Mitch, who said the wet crotchler.
Also,
yes.
both things were true. Medici's got a parlay, of course he does.
It always has a good open parlay. We open with the clip of Barry spilling Coke on his crotch.
Diet
that
Coke.
cashed.
Yeah,
minus 500. So you're not really.
Coke, to be clear.
Yeah, Barry's pants drink free plus 750. That's going to be a sweat. Barry's solo cup is wrapped in caution tape plus 2,500.
Feels like you guys missed an opportunity there with that. So that's the parlay does not cash because I'll tell you who drinks free today, and it is our stage manager,
it is.
Brian Daboll. No, Kevin Brady is our stage manager. Everyone thinks he looks like, because he kind of looks like Brian Daboll.
When he walks through the set, people ask if Brian Daboll is now working for us at NBC. But no, that is Kevin.
That's Kevin.
Kevin drinks for free. Kevin drinks for free here every day for the work he has to do, but especially today.
Yeah, you have no idea.
I never knew Kevin's last name was Brady. To me, he's always just been Kevin, kind of like Neymar or Ronaldo, like a Brazilian soccer player.
Prince.
Please, he's the last name of Brady because he's the GOAT.
Yes,
that's right. That's right.
Kevin takes care of us. You have no idea the disaster that I am. Although you're starting to get a hint.
Right, it's seeping into the show.
Seeping into the show.
Very good.
Anyway, so Kevin takes care of us. He drinks free today. He drinks free every day, but especially today after the disaster that was yesterday. It is waiver wire day, though.
Yeah, last thing. For those who don't know, a little behind the scenes, a little inside baseball, one of Kevin's tasks, unfortunately, is Matthew only drinks his water with an unbelievable amount of ice.
I like my ice cold.
So Kevin, before the show, has to get a giant amount of ice.
And during the show.
Yes, and during the show, because you need to restock up on the ice. Yeah. And that's what Kevin's tasked with.
You know what? Honestly, if the two of you would contribute to the show a little bit more, I wouldn't have to talk so much. My whistle wouldn't need to get so wet. That's what I need. I need a wet whistle. That's what it is. Yeah, I like my water cold. So sue me. For the love of God. I'm a diva.
The Iceman cometh.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right.
Iceman spilleth.
Waiver wired quarterbacks. Let's get right into it. C.J. Stroud, 64% available. He's obviously been and is in concussion protocol right now, so it's been a long wait. But here's what C.J. Stroud did before that concussion. His 4 games was looking upwards, averaging over 20 fantasy points per game. Matthew, if he's cleared, he's at the Colts in a huge division matchup.
Yeah, this is an important one. 3 of the last 4 completed games, Stroud has had at least 18 fantasy points. He's actually running a little bit more as well. As you see it there on your screen, 24 rushing yards per game. And, has Stroud been great? No, but has he gotten a lot better recently? And it feels like the entire Texans offense is starting to sort of gel. A new offense coordinator this year, and so it's taken taking a little while, but seems like they've started to find their stride. The offensive line is playing a little bit better. And so the emergence of Jayden Higgins, we're going to talk about him, obviously. Nico Collins, Dalton Schultz has been kind of a steady Eddie in that offense. So, look, he ain't great. but you could do worse. And, it's where we are in week 13. Candidly, no team's on a bye, obviously. We've got the 3 games on Thanksgiving. We've got the Black Friday game. It's a full slate of football this week. So chances are you may not need a guy here, but they're somewhat slim pickings, especially at the quarterback position. But Stroud is out there, and we don't hate the matchup. We don't love it, but we don't hate it.
Yep. 2 things. One, in betting, a very important thing with injury reports is knowing which beat writers to trust, right?
Sure.
And so I've got good confidence CJ Stroud's going to play because Aaron Wilson says
he's great.
that he's going to play. Aaron Wilson works for the NBC affiliate in Houston and is very plugged into the Texans. Reporting's been very consistent. CJ Stroud will play. Second thing is D'Amico Ryans was asked, is Stroud the starter or are you going to stay with the hot hand and Davis Mills? I'm sorry, what? Davis Mills? Hot hand?
I like that, the hot hand.
Davis Mills, competent hand, lukewarm hand, not hot, not a hot hand.
This is a question for Connor Rogers, because you're a member of the New York media, obviously.
Right.
You're an ink-stained wretch like the rest of them.
With my notepad.
Right? Yeah, with your notepad, and you got your hat that says scoop, that you wear into the studio every day. So here's my question for you. When you and the other beat reporters are sitting there, and somebody asks a question like that, when somebody's asking a question like that, when you're covering the team, you can cover the team, especially for the second best Jets podcast out there, Badlands.
That's right.
And somebody asks a question like that, is Davis Mills still, the hot hand? Every once in a while, I'll be watching press conferences, and I'll be like, oh, yeah. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. How did you become a beat reporter? How are you covering the team?
Sure.
Do you guys all roll your eyes in the back?
Internally, I think you do. But the thing is, you often know when you're around one beat long enough, you know who's going to ask those questions.
The dumb
so,
questions,
you almost become immune to never being surprised by who's going to ask the dumb question of the day.
Right. Who is it on the Jets?
I'll tell you after the show. Off the air.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know
Every beat has one.
Huh?
Every beat has one, sometimes two.
I know.
I have a guess, by the way.
Yeah. Okay. I'm looking forward to it.
I have a guess off air.
When we're at the NFL Combine and people are asking questions, that person is Matthew Berry. Yeah, Matthew Berry.
Well, no, but my questions aren't dumb. They're just fantasy questions. They're just blatant fantasy questions that I'm trying to ask in an NFL setting that I'm trying to sneak by. Yeah. And at this point, unfortunately, people know who I am, and so they're like, oh,
they're
fantasy
on to you.
question. Yeah, of course they're on to me. So. So I gotta sneak it in with other guys.
The best question ever asked at an NFL Combine was when it wasn't really a question, but when you told Kevin Stefanski, tough luck that you lost to D'Amico Ryans for Coach of the Year.
When he actually won.
He sold it so well, though. Yeah. Stefanski was such a good sport.
It's actually an amazing clip. Stefanski going, does anyone want to tell him that I won?
Yeah. He wasn't going to embarrass him on air.
So. All right, so now you're gonna it's throw. I see how it's going, Jay. It's throw Matthew Berry under the bus day. Understand? It's not enough that I spilled Diet Coke all over myself,
and we had to relive it.
We had to relive it. Okay, so but I'll own this story.
Before
this is
we do, should
true.
Bed start Stroud or Brissett?
I think I'd rather Brissett. I think I'd rather Brissett on the road at Tampa Bay.
100%.
That secondary.
Pass funnel.
Brissett's been
for sure.
Brissett's been nothing short of fantastic, Bed.
All right,
so I think it's Brissett. I don't think it's all that close. Brissett's been a top 12 fantasy quarterback every week. He's been the starter. I suspect he will be again against the Bucs. All right, here's the story. So at the Combine, you're sort of just running around and grabbing everything, right? You're trying to just grab whoever you can. And so we, fantasy football happy hour, we're sort of off to the side. Pro football, all the big name coaches and general managers, they all come to Pro Football Talk. Obviously, they talk with Sims and Florio. And so we're sort of we scramble a little bit. We're trying to hey, can we get this guy? Can we get that guy? Right? Because, and you're just doing a lot. And so I know the PR guy for the Browns. And I was just hey, could we get Kevin for a couple of minutes when he was done with radio? And they're like, yeah, we'll let you know. I'm like, all right, I'd say. But then all of a sudden, out of the blue, they're he's walking by, and the guy looks at me, he says, we got 5, let's go. And so immediately, oh, okay. And and so we're talking about this, and this was 2 years ago when he had actually won Coach of the Year. Yeah. And there was all the debate up until that year, because Jay's such a big awards bettor, that we'd talk about, is it going to be D'Amico Ryans? In his first year with the Texans, he did a great job. Yeah. Or is it going to be Kevin Stefanski, who led them to the, with 4 different quarterbacks, including comeback player of the year, Joe Flacco. And so it went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I know Pro Football Talk named D'Amico Ryans Coach of the Year. And there were different awards out there. But the official award went to Stefanski. But in my brain fart moment there, I had it in my mind that Ryans had won. And so I'm sitting there, and again, I've had no time to prep because I didn't think we were getting him. And so Stefanski sits down. Immediately, I'm grabbing the mic. Okay, hey, we're here with Kevin Stefanski, who, for my money, should have won Coach of the Year. You know, whatever.
I like throwing D'Amico under the bus, by the way.
Yeah.
You should have beaten D'Amico.
Yeah, I know.
That bum.
And I literally, I think I said no disrespect to D'Amico because he did a great job. But honestly, what you did, 4 quarterbacks, I don't know how you didn't win. Something like that. Whatever.
And how it would have been if you'd interviewed D'Amico.
Well,
D'Amico, you should have won.
And so God bless Stefanski, who's like the nicest guy in the universe.
Yep.
Stefanski kind of looks over at the PR guys. It's like, can I tell him? Like, you know, and like, God bless him. Basically said, hey, actually, I actually did win, and let me off the hook very easily. And then very kindly, I said, can we just start the interview over? And he graciously said yes. So we did the interview over. And so for the last 2 years, every time you've ever heard me say, like, 2-time Coach of the Year, Kevin Stefanski, not everyone knows he won. The reverting to me. But by the way, Foot Brawler, 2 years ago, back when the story started, I did not want to tell the story. Blame Jay Croucher. Blame the cunning Aussie here for taking us way off track. This one's not mine. But I cannot have my name be smirched without defending myself as to why it is.
K. Gemma said the excuser now wrapping his excuses in story time. Very good. Very good. All right, we'll get us back.
K. Gemler? Yeah, give me on camera 1 here.
The K.
It's like pigs in a blanket.
Yeah. Hey, you know what, K. Gemmer? No, this is just between me and K. Gem right now. You're goddamn right. You're damn right. That's right. They're now in stories. They're now in stories. Take it or leave it.
Man. So if you need another quarterback and C.J. Stroud's not available, maybe Trevor Lawrence is. 51% available, makes our threshold by 1%. He's got the Titans. Obviously a better matchup. And as we've often said with the Trevler, it doesn't have to be pretty, but he's getting fantasy points. Liam Cohen spoke on the progress, maybe
really?
the lack thereof of the Jags pass game.
Is it perfect? No. Are we lighting the world on fire every time we throw it? No, but it has improved. And I, as the play caller, as I mentioned, do have confidence in calling pass plays that we're going to find a completion. I thought Trevor went through his progressions well. Like the first drive of the second half, was 4 passes in a row, whatever it was, trying to get a little rhythm there. And you're not doing that unless you believe, right? You believe you're going to be able to move the football that way. So that is important for us as an offense, like as a team, especially to continue to be more explosive.
Liam Cohen looks a little more gaunt. Is that what 9 months with Trevor Lawrence?
Didn't love the setup.
Yeah.
It looked a little bit like from a bunker where he was being held captive.
The Joker selfie video is kind of the first thing I thought of right away.
Yeah. It looked like Ryan Reynolds in Buried.
Yeah. Not happy.
Nevertheless, Trevor Lawrence is starting.
Trevor Lawrence is starting, and it has never been pretty. I agree, Liam Cohen and I agree on that. It has not been pretty, but he's been a top 12 fantasy quarterback 3 of the last 4 games, and then he gets Tennessee now, right? Since week 7, they're allowing the 5th most fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks. And so the Traveler going up against the Titans defense has allowed multiple touchdown passes in 4 of the last 5 games. Like, again, next week they play the Colts, but then they get the Jets at home. So, like, 2 out of the next 3 games, I think he's a usable streamer. After the Jets games, they're at Denver. So I don't know that you love that, but, like, I do think if you need somebody this week, like, hey, we don't know if Baker Mayfield's going to play. If you're in a deeper league and, we'll get to Jayden McCarthy. But whatever. I mean, like, anyway, the Traveler, I think, could be potentially useful this week as a spot start against the Titans.
All right, we got a comment here. I paint for life.
Yeah.
The Traveler is the Hunter Henry of quarterbacks for waivers every week. That's pretty accurate. He's the closest thing we have to a Hunter Henry and a Tyjae Spears.
Yeah, I agree. By the way, love the Bob Ross avatar there. It's a good one. And nice to see some new names popping up.
Yes, absolutely.
Exactly.
Speaking of the Joker, Connor, in The Dark Knight, Alfred tells a story about a jewel thief in the forest in Burma and how some people just want to see the world burn. Like it's Trevor Lawrence on a week-to-week basis. Let's just throw 3 picks. We'll throw 3 touchdowns. Let's just let everything burn. And 17 fantasy points will be at the end of it. He is the chaosler, chaos merchant.
Absolutely
but it is conducive to compiling counting stats.
Let's talk some deep league targets in case both these guys are not available in your leagues. Jameis Winston, we got to keep an eye on Jackson Dart's progress, of course. But Jameis does make the cut, especially if he starts even against a good New England defense.
Just worth noting, that is the Monday night game, so obviously you're going to need to know, hopefully, as we get closer to that, have a pivot in case we get closer.
I would think with the extra rest and week, you'll know. what Dortch's status is.
Yes,
I don't think it'll
agree,
come
so.
right to warm-ups with a concussion. Tua against the Saints. Marcus Mariota, we think, right? Against Denver.
Yeah, I don't know that you want him against Denver, but yes, it looks like Jayden Daniels is going to start practicing, but he's not going to play this. He's highly doubtful to play this week.
Have you revised up your 0% chance that he returns?
I think it's moronic if he plays, but I think I may have been wrong on that. I think there is a chance he plays, even though I think they're going to lose to Denver. I think it's dumb. Cam Ward got some rushing last week as well. Jaguars allow the 6th most fantasy points to opposing running backs. Shedeur Sanders named the starter in Cleveland. He's going to get another start. This is against San Francisco. Yes, they looked good last night. We'll get to that in a minute, but I think that was more about Bryce Young's inefficiency than it was that the Niners defense is suddenly awesome. Sanders, we'll see, but it's not a terrible matchup for his second start, given all the injuries to San Francisco. Last one I want to mention here, Connor, I just think people are curious. Max Brosmer potentially is going to start for the Minnesota Vikings. J.J. McCarthy had concussion-like symptoms and is now in the protocol. I think it's fair to wonder, given McCarthy's struggles, and they didn't really leave the game, is this a quote-unquote soft benching, or is it legitimate? I don't know. That's not our place to speculate.
Right.
But either way, because this is a question I asked some NFL people. Maybe we talked about it yesterday on the show. Is it worse for J.J. McCarthy to go on the road to play Seattle and just get his butt kicked, by Sam Darnold, the guy he replaced, or is it better for him to sit? Which is worse for his ego, or better for his ego?
What if you get mediocre play from Max Brosmer? That's the worst outcome.
Yeah.
Because it's a tough matchup. Now, Cam Ward, I thought, played really good against Seattle, so maybe there is some hope there. But they need somebody that can distribute the ball to Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson right now. And Max Brosmer is never going to wow you with physical gifts and tools, but he will run the offense like a point guard and get the ball to these guys.
Yeah, for people that didn't see him at Minnesota, undrafted free agent, but they like him there.
He had such a good summer because everything is between the ears with him. He's going to absorb the offense, and I'm not going to say they're going to do more with him, but I just think he'll be able to distribute the ball more on time and with more touch than McCarthy has, which has been, and hopefully cut down on the turnovers, which is sinking this offense.
I just think he's an interesting name. You're not playing him this week against Seattle, but
I stashed him in Dynasty.
Yeah, I do. I'm in Dynasty as well. I just think he's an interesting guy because there's a non-zero chance that he becomes the starting quarterback of a Kevin O'Connell coached offense where he gets to throw to Jefferson and Addison, and that's interesting in Superflex leagues.
Yes, it has value.
Minus 110 each side. Yes, no. J.J. McCarthy's the week 1 starter for the Vikings next year.
I'll take the no on the pick 'em.
Yeah.
I think they'll go get a vet to compete with him, and I just don't see it.
Yep. I understand rookie quarterbacks can be bad and they turn it around, but you're not usually this bad in this level of context.
And
is the issue.
The team is too ready to win.
Yeah,
that's the issue.
They're in a
they
weird.
Can't take their time.
They're misaligned.
Yeah.
Like good coaching staff, good roster. The offense has a franchise left tackle, a superstar wide receiver, a really good second wide receiver, a great play caller.
For all the jokes about Daniel Jones, if this team had Daniel Jones, they would be very much in contention for the division.
They wanted him back.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. And so it does seem like, we'll talk about this all offseason, but it does feel like you're heading towards an Anthony Richardson, Daniel Jones type situation in Minnesota where they will bring in a veteran of Daniel Jones's caliber, whoever's out there.
Did they trade for Mac Jones?
Yeah, did they? Right.
Something.
Jameis, baby.
That's the fun route.
Yeah.
That's the fun
That
route.
would be unbelievable.
But there's somebody, right? Yes.
Justin Jefferson might have 3,000 receiving yards with Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Great for us.
Be great.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to running backs.
Marcus Mariota is on a 1-year deal, right? I mean,
He's better
whatever.
than J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah. Anyway.
With running backs, just to mention, Kyle Monangai and Kenneth Gainwell are just over 50% rostered, so it's worth checking your leagues if they're out there. They don't meet our threshold, so we can't start with them. But we can start with Devin Neal.
But if they were available,
they would be the top guys here.
Be the top
over the guys we have to move to, like Devin Neal, who's 97% available. Obviously, this is because Alvin Kamara is hurt right now. He got a 74% snap rate. He was the guy after Kamara left the game. 7 rush attempts, only 18 rushing yards, but what you care about here is the 5 catches for 43 receiving yards as well. And we got to hear from the young running back on an increased role in this Saints offense.
I just think it's just more opportunity for me just to keep showing what I can do. More opportunities to show that I can be an all-around back and that I can play in this league and be sufficient and be efficient on the ground, catching the ball and pass blocking and do it all. I just handle my business the same. I like I said yesterday, I prepare the same way I prepare like I'm going to play every snap. I've done that this entire season, and nothing's going to change in that aspect.
So Devin Neal, guys, he's got the Dolphins which if Chimera's down, Devin Neal becomes a fringe RB2 on volume?
Yeah, I mean, look, the problem is you have Taysom Hill there, who had 10 rushing attempts last week, including 5 red zone attempts. Taysom Hill torturing fantasy managers since, I think, 1973.
It's like Tyler Allgeier level work.
He really, it's unbelievable. Like, just, again, I tell my daughters, find somebody that looks at you the way any coach ever looks at Taysom Hill, apparently, especially when they get him close. But to your point about Devin Neal, once Chimere went down, he played 88% of the snaps. He got 100% of the running back touches, 16% target share in Week 12. A guy that was more of a pass catcher than I think we thought he might be.
I'm surprised by that. Yeah.
Same, but again, no Kendre Miller, no Alvin Kamara. It's not serious on Kamara in terms of it's not season ending. But, he's going to miss a few weeks here. And so Devin Neal will split some time with Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill only qualifies at tight end on most formats. So it's not like, but he is going to be used as a running back. So he's half of a bad running back room, Jay.
The issue, too, is that Miami apparently have an amazing run defense now.
Yeah.
After having an atrocious run defense the first half of the season, and now they've really bounced back. They're able to largely shut down Derrick Henry, James Cook, Bijan Robinson. Like, they've turned into a very solid run defense as they've figured some things out up front. But the reality is Devin Neal, there's a good chance that he's a starting running back for an NFL team. And that guy just has to be rostered. And then after Miami, you don't love at Tampa Bay either. There will be dump-offs, and then Carolina and the Jets. So, he should be rostered everywhere.
Yeah. Stylistically reminded me of Ray Davis. So nothing fancy, but we'll get the job done. This one from Mick Genuine, Neal or Emmanuel Wilson?
It depends on, it's all about Jacobs, right? I mean, but it's the Thursday night game, so you'll know. I would say Neal for the rest of the season, because once Jacobs comes back, Wilson doesn't matter. But if I knew as we sit here today that Jacobs was going to miss the Thursday game as well, Wilson over Neal this week. Yeah, not close.
Yep. Our next running back is Chris Rodriguez Jr., guys, 83% available. They do have the Broncos, as we pointed out, coming off of the bye week here, Matthew. This backfield has started to change a little bit in terms of touches.
Yeah, I mean, so had 16 touches, played 45% of the snaps in Week 11. Again, they were down, so you see some Jeremy McNichols there. But it does seem like, and, we talked about this like 2 weeks ago, speaking of the beat reporters, your colleagues,
all of them.
Connor, talking about how the fact that they liked Chris Rodriguez. I remember talking to J.P. Finley, who, speaking of the good beat reporters, J.P. Finley is one of the best. Works for NBC Sports in Washington, D.C. He's covered the Commanders for a long, long time. He's one of my go-tos. He's unbelievable. And he said, Chris, he goes, all 3 guys are getting in the mix. This was prior to the last game we saw him with, I believe it was the Lions game. But he said Chris Rodriguez over Ja'Cory Cross-Chimere. Now, out of the bye, maybe they have the rookie. Rodriguez is somebody that's been in and out of the team, on the practice squad. I think they feel like there's probably more of a future and upside with Cross-Chimere, but for this game right now, they may trust Rodriguez a little bit more. I mean, he's been like 3 straight games with a goal-to-go rushing attempt. He scored in 2 of the last 3 games. He's actually been kind of effective in this offense. So
still more of a deeper league option, just given the matchup against Denver, their brutal run defense, coming off the bye, and Washington's 6.5-point favorites there. I think that line is baking in some chance that Jayden Daniels goes, though certainly not expecting him to play.
No, not expecting him to play as well. Again, Rodriguez, I think the schedule gets a little bit easier for Washington after Denver. Again, he might be a tough start this week, but if he separates himself even more from Bill, they're at Minnesota, at the Giants over the next 2. Then they're home to Philadelphia, so But he might be usable in 2 of the next 3 weeks.
A lot of people in the chat wondering if Amarian Hampton is indeed activated off IR. Do you start him right away?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so, too.
I mean, they're playing Las Vegas, and I know the Raiders actually have a better run defense than you would give them credit for. But yes, I think I get the questions about the offensive line. I get the question we haven't seen it. Not the easiest matchup, but yes. I mean, he's my ride or die. So I would start him immediately in every league that I have him in if he is activated, and please let him be activated.
Our deeper league targets, Bhayshul Tuten does meet our threshold, 52% available, as does Tyler Allgeier. He's on this list every single week. 56% available.
Tough game last week for Tuten, but I still believe in the talent, and they do play Tennessee, so hopefully gets more work this week.
Speaking of Tennessee, of course, Tyjae Spears makes our list because he always does. He'll get you a couple catches, and he won't give you a goose egg. It's so that's good.
Death taxes and Tyjae Spears on a Tuesday waiver show.
Hopefully Michael Carter can do the same for you if you have to play him. Jaleel McLaughlin scored the last time we saw Denver play, but not a lot of usage, Matthew. Good luck figuring out the Denver back.
Yeah, I want no part of that. Bam Knight and Michael Carter is just because we don't know for sure that Trey Benson's going to get activated. Obviously, if Benson gets activated, you don't love either of those guys. Although Carter, in a game in which they're probably trailing on the road at Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay's so good at the run defense, Carter might have some deep league flex appeal because they use him more in the passing game. Bam Knight catches some passes as well. Last one I want to mention, though, Ashton Jeanty got banged up. Pete Carroll says it's not serious, but of course, Pete Carroll says every injury is not serious. Like, I saw Pete Carroll at a funeral once, and he said, it's a cold. I'm just, Pete Carroll, is not the most accurate guy when it comes to injury analysis. He claims
it's not analysis.
Yeah, exactly. He's just he's coming back any day now. Don't worry about it. This is just it's a flesh wound.
Yeah, the binary outcomes of breathing, not breathing don't apply to Pete Carroll.
Anyway, Pete Carroll doesn't think Ashton Jeanty's injury is anything serious, but if Jeanty were to miss this game, it would be Zamir White and Raheem Mostert. But because they just can't run the ball at all, I think I would prefer Mostert, who's the passing down back. And they it seems like, again, like we saw it with Jeanty last week, like they'll use the running back. It seems like that's the one thing Geno can do is dump off to the running back these days.
Thank God we got Pete Carroll out of Seattle and out of the Kenneth Walker injury update business, because that was absolutely diabolical. Yeah, Ken Walker's fine. We'll see him in a month.
I'm telling you. Anyway.
Raise the Flags asking, are we out on all three Bucs running backs if Bucky is in?
I don't want to be just because they're home to Arizona. They're home favorites to Arizona. Cardinals 27th against the run over the last 4 weeks. You can run on Arizona. I think I would probably start Bucky, and I would wait and see on the other two. If Bucky's active, because he's Bucky, I think I'm starting Bucky, and the other two I kind of wait and see how the rest of the scraps are divvied up between Tucker and Rachaad White.
Yeah. Also, I think Baker Mayfield's going to play in that game. All the reporting. As Baker told us, can't remember if it was on camera or off camera, but he was basically like, they'd have to chop my leg off for me not to play in a game.
Non-throwing shoulder.
Yeah.
He's like the quarterback version of Josh Jacobs. He's as tough as he's as tough as they come.
He'll probably try to run someone over in the first quarter just to prove a point.
To prove, exactly. Yes. He's that dude.
Yes.
He is that dude.
Yeah. So he'll play, and the Tampa offense should be fine.
Yeah, I think. We love Baker here. We're big fans of Baker.
Let's go to the wide receivers. Jayden Higgins, speaking of those Texans, we started the show with C.J. Stroud. Now we move to his rookie wide receiver, who's 78% available against the Colts. The good news here, Jay, 9 targets in Week 12. Jayden Higgins officially involved and legit red zone ability with his size.
Absolutely, and it's not like he was doing nothing prior to that. He had the 7 targets against the Titans and the Jags as well. He's gotten into the end zone 2 of the past 3 weeks. So, he's a big part of this offense. We'll see if he is a Davis Mills merchant. I don't think he will be. I think Stroud will help everyone. The Colts defense is really interesting now, Connor, because they have this huge disparity between incredible cornerbacks, but no real pass rush outside of Leatu Latu. So I'm interested to see how that unfolds. Mahomes is not the guy you want to go up against with that, because Mahomes was just able to wait and then find eventually the open man because he wasn't pressured a ton, or at least it didn't disrupt him too much. But, how do you think this Colts defense is going to go against Houston?
I don't love it just because. Now, it depends on how far along is Stroud, in this scenario, where you look at it and go, okay, he hasn't played in a couple weeks. He was playing well. Massive game. I'm worried that the game is a rock fight. That's my fear, because Houston plays behind the will of their defense, and I think it changes how they play on offense, whether it's Stroud or Davis Mills. I just don't think they have to be unnecessarily aggressive, especially with Nick Caley, who's been getting better, as you pointed at the top of the show, but I still think they want to be a little careful. So I just don't expect it to be a bombs away kind of game.
Yep, I think that's fair. I think a huge thing in this game is just the health of Daniel Jones.
It's a total 44.5, I would think.
Total's 44.5. I might lean under.
I would too, and that's not a big number.
Yeah, Jones was not right. As we talked about yesterday, he was not right. He's throwing off his back foot. He's not stepping into his throws. Also, he has a fibula. What does that mean? I don't want to brag, but I have a fibula.
You do too. We don't put you on the injury report
yesterday. He kept on me like, he has a fibula. That's all I'm going to say. He's going to play. It's like, all right, well, he couldn't step into his throws. He got the fibula off of a bye week, and he wasn't on the injury report on the Wednesday, and then he pops up on the Thursday. Like, what happened? How do you do your fibula on a Thursday practice? Did someone someone tackle him low and break his leg?
Just a bad collision.
I just like you saying he got the fibula off of a bye week. Like the bye week is like Temu or something. Like he got the fibula.
He came back.
Yeah, exactly.
Came back with a new fibula from the
got it
bye
off
week.
eBay. He came back with a
I
fibula.
need my quarterback right. I want my quarterback healthy. Because the Ninja Daniel Jones was not pretty against the Chiefs.
For people that are unfamiliar with Jayden Higgins' game, because Houston's not a big. I know it seems weird to say, but I feel like they don't get a lot of national TV time. The Texans are. They are a huge market, obviously. But talk to me a little bit about Jayden Higgins, and so because I don't think this is fluky.
No,
Connor.
he's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Higgins is a good athlete. He's got great size. It's kind of like they wanted another version of like a little bit watered down Nico Collins.
Yeah.
Right, a big perimeter guy that is a big catch radius. He can be a possession guy. They love his size in the red zone, and that's why they took Jalen Noel as well, who's the opposite, that small slot, kind of short area quickness guy. So it is weird because like Higgins and Collins have similar skill sets that you think might kind of eat into each other's targets a little bit, but I like the talent a lot.
Look, and if they want to just open up the offense, I mean, like again, they're not getting a lot from Christian Kirk as well. And since the injury to Tank Dell and Stephon Diggs, like they haven't had a guy other than Nico Collins that they can sort of take some attention away. So it's nice to see Higgins sort of emerge here over the last couple of weeks here. Next on our list is Christian Watson, guys.
Yeah, the big play merchant.
Yeah, and I don't know what, I'm amazed that he's still available in 52% of leagues, 33% target share last week. His target share has increased 3 straight games. The argument against Watson has always been, can he stay healthy? It's never been about the talent, never been about the role. Just, when you're drafting in the preseason, well, the guy's always hurt. He was hurt at the beginning of the year. He always gets hurt, but he's healthy now, and we don't know how long it's going to last. But I like this matchup against Detroit. This should be a very high-scoring game.
Yeah, I remember the back half of Christian Watson's rookie season where he's playing with Aaron Rodgers. It's like, this guy looks like he's going to be a top 10 receiver in the league. Like, Rodgers had immense trust in him down the road. Aaron Rodgers doesn't trust anyone. And he trusts a rookie wide receiver, and he was peppering him with targets. And since then, just been so interrupted by injuries. But I think he is the most talented until Matthew Golden. We'll see what happens with him.
He's more talented than him.
Okay. So
bigger, faster.
Yep.
Matthew Golden, I get it. He went in the first round, but Christian Watson, one of the freakiest prospects.
Yep.
But like you guys keep hinting, he's just always banged up.
Yeah, he's got the combination of elite speed, down the field threat, and then also contested catch ability, which we saw in the end zone against the Giants 2 weeks ago. And I do think it is a favorable matchup because this Lions defense, I have no idea what this Lions defense is. Statistically on the season, it's fine, but they get absolutely torched by Jameis Winston with no Malik Neighbors. Like, well, how does that happen? The cornerback situation is very dire for Detroit. They do have a good run defense, so expect this is going to be a pass funnel type of game. My man Jordan Love can ball out in front of America on Thanksgiving.
There you go.
It's a good time to remind everybody, too, not for this game, which is why Watson should be starting for you in this game, but I'd start stashing Jayden Reed if he's out there for you. A lot of people dropped him after he got hurt. I think he'll be the #1 wide receiver for this team with some good matchups down the stretch.
Yeah, Jayden Reed.
Jay, this is a question for you from high in the country. Wow. Christian Watson or your man Alec Pierce, half-point PPR.
Yeah, it's funny because I think these two receivers might be the closest kind of prototypes of each other in the whole league. Like, they basically are versions of the same thing. I might lean Christian Watson because of the matchup against Detroit. I think he might have the high ceiling. Alec Pierce going up against, Alec Pierce is a wide receiver 1 on that team. He's going to get Derek Stingley and the Texans pass rush. And also just the Jones health situation scares me. So reluctantly going to abandon the show's patron saint, Alec Pierce, and go with Christian Watson.
All right, our next wide receiver, Matthew, I know this makes you happy. Parker Washington, 60% available. 5 catches for 71 yards and a touchdown last week. It's crazy he's still out there.
It's crazy he's still out there. We keep talking about him. He keeps producing. The Traveler loves looking for him. At least 17 fantasy points in 3 of the past 4. He's had at least a 23% target share in each of those games. Now, even if Brian Thomas comes back, and we sort of expect that just means Diami Brown comes out. Like, Parker Washington is their slot guy. They've been playing Myers on the outside. You do have some Brenton Strange there as well. We'll talk about him coming up. But the Titans, this matchup, allowing the 3rd most yards per game to wide receivers so far this season. Since week 9, Parker Washington has a 92% route participation. He's just out there on every single play. The weirdest thing is for a smaller guy, Connor, they look for him in the end zone quite a bit.
All right, he just kind of finds a way to slither and get open.
Yes.
There's something funny, and I think Travis Hunter's going to be awesome, but that they traded all these assets for their #2 wide receiver, a guy that you thought would play a lot in the slot. And Parker Washington is just like doing everything they ever wanted from a smaller slot wide receiver.
Yeah, we'll see how it all ends up with the Jags, who I don't think are particularly good, but they play the Titans and the Jets 2 of the next 3 weeks, and the home Colts in between, so they're very likely going to be 9-5. But the way they've built this wide receiver room is just completely insane. Like, to trade up to Travis Hunter at 2, to take Brian Thomas Jr. The year before, to spend these resources on Jacoby Myers, and now you have Parker Washington as well. Yeah. It's very strange.
This one from Aaron Cashman. Is Parker Washington the lead singer of the Slot Merchants?
I feel like he's the bass player.
Wan'Dale Robinson?
Yeah, Wan'Dale probably.
Wan'Dale Robinson is the ultimate slot merchant.
Although now he's become like a legit wide receiver.
I know, it's crazy. Who's the lead of the slot merchant?
Lead singer of the slot merchant.
Let us workshop this one.
I think about that.
Slot merchant also has negative connotations, right? So it can't be Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's kind of too good.
Right. It needs to be somebody that it needs to be like the wide receiver version of Alvin Kamara last year.
Yes.
That just that feeds Chris Olave this year maybe, although he's not a slot guy, but I mean like just somebody that's like just scamming his way to PPR relevancy. It was Wan'Dale Robinson, but now he's expanded the route tree.
Now he's good.
But now he's good.
I'll tell you, a new warrior has entered the arena, and John Mechie on the Jets. He's a slot merchant.
Yep. He's unbelievable, John Mechie. We'll talk about him.
We got him coming
here,
on, deep league targets
in a second.
But before we do, Chimere Dike, 86% available. Nice rookie year so far for Dike on the Titans. Now he's getting involved in the pass game. It took a couple weeks to really get him involved, but Cam Ward's looking his way, and he's got speed, Matthew.
He has a ton of speed, and the important, so you saw it on the special teams touchdown, but also like they're looking for him. He's had at least a 90% route participation each of his last 3 healthy games, 18% target share last week for Cam Ward. That was tied for the team lead there as well. Now, he does play a lot in the slot. Jacksonville's actually weirdly good against the slot. They allow the second lowest catch rate to opposing wide receivers from the slot. But I feel like they'll move him around a decent amount, and because of his speed, look, is he great? No, but he's available in 86% of leagues, and this Titans offense is starting to show signs of life, of just being at least semi-competent. And so,
Cam Ward's playing a lot better.
Dike's interesting. Dike's interesting, and it's fun. Like, I picked him up. I used him to beat a guy in our league, and so I sent some Dike picks, to my opponent just to troll him, just to taunt him, because I used him to beat him.
Yeah, very good. It's a great win for America that the Titans don't have any Sunday night football games this year. Yes. So Matthew can't take a Dike prop, which would be an absolute catastrophe on a national platform.
Football night.
Yeah.
All right, deep league targets. Luther Burden.
I would never do that. People watch football night in America. This show, no one honestly, I
just do whatever you want on this show.
It's literally just. I'm not even convinced we broadcast. I literally just think you and I just come. The 3 of us just come here and we BS for an hour.
Pretty much.
And just
sometimes
whatever.
A little after the show.
Yeah, and just right, exactly. Just no one's watching this thing. That's why we get away with it.
The deep league targets. Luther Burden against the Eagles on Friday's game, 89% available.
I just want to talk about Burden for one quick second here. Back-to-back games with 5 targets.
Feels
like
this is your show to do that. It's the best part.
Yeah, thanks. Well, I just feel like on Burden here, Connor, is that he's surpassed Olamide Zaccheaus, and I know it's been up and down for Caleb Williams, and that he's been a better fantasy quarterback than real life quarterback, and they still want to go a little bit run heavy here. But Burden has the kind of if they gave him a full-time role, whether it was due to injury or he just burst through, could be a league winner. He's got that kind of talent.
He's going to be their DJ Moore whenever they move on from DJ Moore. That's the exact role. You can play him inside and outside, the manufactured touches. He's got enough juice to win down the field. It's just opportunity that he's going to need.
And Matthew, if you want to give your fantasy football opinions on any other players on the show, you just feel empowered to do so.
What do you think of Andrei Iosivas this week? It's a great spot for you to talk about him.
Well, he's got a 20% target share last week. T. Higgins has already been ruled out, as you see some of our others receiving votes. So Iosivas, I think, could be useful once again as the number 2 guy. Him and Mike Gesicki. Remember, Joe Burrow is expected to be back and starting Thursday night on NBC and Peacock. I'm a company man. Should be a great game against the Ravens. So Iosivas actually, has been productive in games in which either Higgins or Chase is out. Again, no Higgins on Thursday night. How about the human Dortch, Greg Dortch, 15 or more fantasy points in both the games that Marvin Harrison Jr. has missed. And Connor, in your role of a beat reporter covering the Jets day to day, John Mechie is somebody who's caught your attention.
He's playing very well right now. He's commanding a lot of targets. He's got juice after the catch. Tyrod Taylor trusts him. And Tanner Engstrand is literally scheming plays for him to be the primary read. So John Mechie, this is real. He's going to give you what.
He's the Jamar Chase of the New York Jets.
Right. Yeah. There you go. It's exactly
a star in his role.
26% target share for Tyrod Taylor last year.
Outscored Justin Jefferson last week. I'm just saying. I'm just giving you stats.
Oh, believe me, I'm well aware because Roto Pat picked him up and started me against him in our league, and and he had like Jordan Mason on his which it was obviously the right move, but I'm like, you have a running back.
Nope, John Mechie.
John Mechie.
Roto Pat knows ball.
Roto Pat knows ball.
By the way, in that league.
But you know what he doesn't know? Victory. Because that's right.
Yeah.
Put down Roto Pat. We'll talk about that next segment.
Yeah. By the way, in that league, I know backup producer Peter's tomorrow, but I beat him by 100 points.
100 points. I saw that.
It's pretty rare margin of victory.
Yes. It was. His grapes got slapped.
Yeah, they got slapped.
He does a lot of chatting in the guillotine chat, but not much chatting in the regular league chat.
Yeah. Pete picks his spots.
He's an ultimate cherry picker when it comes to fantasy.
Cherry picking trash talk.
He will receive his comeuppance tomorrow when he produces the show.
Yeah, good luck. Tight ends, Theo Johnson is our mention at the top. He's rostered in 59% of leagues, but worth checking. Theo Johnson's been very good with Jackson Dart and very good with Jameis Winston. So maybe Theo Johnson is just good in fantasy in the tight end landscape right now. Brenton Strange, Matthew, 87% available. He got hurt. Everybody left him for dead. He's back with 5 catches for 93 yards.
Yeah, we've talked about this, how, it's always fun when you're on the waiver wire, you're hunting for Strange, looking out for it. And he has now very quietly, Brenton Strange has led the Jaguars in receiving yards in 3 of the 5 full games that he's played this year. Middle of the field, again, we've seen it with Parker Washington, we've seen it with Brenton Strange. Had the big game last week, 5 for 93 on 5 targets, double-digit fantasy points each for his last 3 healthy games, and so you're not really scared about this matchup against Tennessee either. So Brenton Strange, pretty interesting, as you see it there on your screen. He was the 4th best tight end in fantasy this past week. How about the guy that's right above him, Colston Loveland of the Bears, Connor? Target share and route participation has increased 3 straight weeks.
That's the key.
It feels like they're finally realizing, despite the fact that they signed Cole Kmet to a big deal,
right?
Loveland is just a special talent.
Right. It took him with a top 10 pick for a reason. And
right.
Now you're kind of reaping those rewards. As you see, he's been consistent. Obviously, the touchdowns really make the difference this week, but that's the case for every tight end, and that's why he's available.
Pretty good headline there, too, by the way.
Live, laugh, Loveland. That's definitely a Dev.
Wow. That's a stupid Dev one. Yeah, Emmy Award-winning stupid Dev.
Very crazy.
There's a reason he's got the hardware.
No,
I don't.
That's why he's
no question about it. Since week 9, he's top 10 in utilization score among tight ends.
Yep.
Colston Loveland is as well.
Yeah, I love this upcoming stretch for the Bears, not because it's a good stretch for them, but because we're going to learn everything we need to know about where Caleb Williams and where Ben Johnson are at with this offense. Because they've been eking out wins, and it's been impressive what Caleb's been able to do at the end of games, but they haven't really played a good defense all year, unless we want to count the Vikings. But outside of that, it's been very easy sailing. And now at Philadelphia on Friday, at Green Bay, home Cleveland, home Green Bay. That is as tough as it gets. I think there's only 5 really good defenses in the NFL, and they're going to play 3 of them, and it's going to be the next 4 games. So we'll learn a lot about these guys.
All right, the deeper league targets, a lot of familiar names. Dalton Schultz, 53% available. Not a good week last week for Dalton Schultz, but before that he'd been consistent. Harold Fannin Jr., Mike Gesicki on the Thursday game against Baltimore.
Gesicki's an interesting one, Connor, just because the 5 games that T. Higgins missed last season, he averaged over 13 fantasy points per game. Again, Joe Burrow will be back.
It's basically a receiver.
And by the way, I don't know what happened with David Njoku last week, but, just nothing. Shedeur was only looking for Fannin, had a 33% target share. So just
something to keep an eye on.
Something to keep an eye on here. Fannin continue to get. Speaking of guys that you want on your dynasty team, Gunnar Helm. They love him in Tennessee, Connor.
Yeah, and what's the theme here? You talked about Fannin and Shedeur, and now we're talking about Cam and Gunnar Helm. These are rookies that come in together. They get a lot of reps together over the summer, so then there's a comfort level when they're on the field together right away.
Absolutely.
No question. And by the way, just quietly, Darren Waller expected to return to practice this week. 4 touchdowns in his 3 full games this season. No one's really emerged outside of Waddle and Achane since Waller went down. We thought, Malik Washington or somebody step up, and it really hasn't. So Waller, who they seem to like in the red zone, just might have gotten dropped when he got injured. Just worth noting about him.
If you need a defense, the Chargers, they have the Raiders. What else do I really need to say there? And they're 61% available. Jacksonville against Tennessee, although Tennessee's offense has been better. The Falcons against the Jets. Jets, even with Tyrod last week, only scored 10 points. The Colts against the Texans, although Stroud might be back. And the Dolphins against the Saints, a.k.a. the Taysom Hill red zone offense. Join in the Thanksgiving tradition, the National Dog Show, presented by Purina, airs at noon on NBC as nearly 2,000 of the top dogs in the country compete for the title of Best in Show. We're taking our first break. When we're back, should we be concerned about Brock Purdy after a massive Monday Night Football dud? The answer right after this.
Obviously, I don't want to have that kind of performance, but I'm an NFL quarterback, and you have games like this, and it's all about how you prepare and get better and move on to the next. I feel like the greats and the good quarterbacks, man, they don't dwell on the past. They're able to go through some bumpy trials and stuff, and then learn from it and keep going.
He threw an interception tonight? I never said anything after the first one. Second one, I just said, dude, just take a deep breath, man. You've been here. You're good. Just breathe, let it out, move on to the next play. That's it. He's a professional. He knows what he's doing.
That was Brock Purdy and George Kittle after the Niners win over the Panthers, but it felt like a lot of the story was around the struggles of Brock Purdy in this one with the interception bonanza, guys. So as you see at the top, Christian McCaffrey getting insane volume. Solid night for Jawan Jennings with the early touchdown. George Kittle got a lot of targets. But, Jay, what's the concern level with Purdy right now? Especially after Mac Jones was very competent in this offense.
Yeah, I'm not that concerned. Yeah. I think that, look, Purdy, the thing is during his season 2 years ago where he's contending for MVP, where he's the favorite with 3 weeks to go, there was this dialogue that like, Brock Purdy's a game manager and Kyle Shanahan's offense with all these elite weapons. Brock Purdy has never been a game manager. Brock Purdy is a gunslinger. He tries the hardest throws. You think about what's the defining Brock Purdy type of throw? It's him layering the ball over the linebacker before the safety, which is like, all right, this is half beat off. This is a pick. That's what he does. He's a high-risk, high-variance player, and sometimes he's just going to roll snake eyes like he did last night, like he did on Christmas night against Ravens a couple of years ago. He's bounced back from these type of games in the past, so I think that we've seen enough from Brock Purdy to just throw this one in the bin, start again. I suspect that he's going to be fine going forward, unless it's actually the toe that is affecting him. But if he's healthy, I think he'll be fine.
He claimed in the post-game press conference, there was a lot of questions asking it for him. It was it's funny, like you'd have thought they'd lost the game, the way all the beat reporters, your brethren.
To be fair, everyone lost this game. This was not a good game.
No, America lost.
Yeah, America lost.
It was,
The Panthers lost the most, but the Niners lost something of themselves in this one too.
It was
somehow they're an 8-win team.
Somehow.
Kyle Shanahan.
I will say, yes,
and some good players.
Will he bounce back? Sure. Do I think it's this week on the road at Cleveland? I'm not convinced,
No,
right?
rough.
That's a tough matchup.
Yeah.
You're starting McCaffrey and Kittle. I don't know that I want any part of the Niners offense moving forward against Cleveland. We'll talk about that a little bit more, although it's worth noting, just as long as I'm here, we have a show tomorrow, Wednesday, but then we are off for the rest of the week. We are not doing a show, obviously, on Thanksgiving Thursday or on Friday. We will be back, however, fantasy football pregame Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern on the NFL NBC YouTube channel and, of course, Peacock.
Yep, Christian McCaffrey having the greatest 3.7 yards per carry season in NFL history. The man just grinds.
Dump off after dump off pass.
I'm in a guillotine league with all the people on the Dan Le Batard show, and it was down to me and Chris Cody, the producer. We were the two finalists, and I was done, and he had McCaffrey, and I was up by 29 points. And so, like, I'm just like, come on. Can't Chris McCaffrey just have like a 27-point game?
Right.
And he wound up in that particular scoring like 27.5. So I ended up winning that league. Thank you very much. But I was sweating it till the very last series, and they started taking knees as well.
Next-gen stats. Christian McCaffrey forced 11 missed tackles against the Panthers, tied for the 5th most by any player in a game this season. McCaffrey leads the NFL with 83 missed tackles forced entering the Week 13 slate. 10 away from his 2023 career high of 93.
I think that's a little misleading because he just has so many more touches than anyone else.
Right, yeah.
And it's a credit to him that he's been able to withstand. The question about Christian McCaffrey was, can he get through the season with a big workload? He's got the biggest workload in football by margin, and he's still surviving out there. He's not been efficient, though. He's had one 20-yard carry all season. And I think it went for 20 yards exactly. So, yeah, but still, his ability to carry this workload makes him perhaps the most valuable player in fantasy.
Yeah, I don't know that Purdy was so bad, and they just ended their drives, and then they just stopped throwing because he was bad, and they were able to run so effectively. So I don't know that there's much you can take away from the Niners passing game in this one. Kind of just an ugly, like, let's just grind one out and get out of here. But I will say that as expected, the return of Brock Purdy has elevated George Kittle back into the top 3 tight end that we all thought he was. And at least on a small sample size, it feels like Pearsall and Juwan Jennings kind of canceling each other out.
Yep.
All right, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens are serving up the main course on Thanksgiving night when they host the Bengals.
Don't want to talk about the Panthers at all.
Nah,
what about Jay's Tedero and McMillan?
I didn't have a takeaway.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
George Kittle got his receptions.
Your George Kittle prop cashed. Jennings and Tet fell short for Jay and I. We'll watch the tape. We'll get better.
The Bengals are planning to have Joe Burrow back. Tune into NBC and Peacock as we lead you up to kickoff in Baltimore. And coming up, our favorite early bets on sides and totals. Last call after this.
Yeah.
DraftKings Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NFL, and new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Download the app and use promo code FFHH when you sign up. DraftKings Sportsbook.
Oh, the crowd is yours!
Okay.
Last call. Early line alert. These have gone pretty well for us this season. So, Jay, what do you got this week?
I think the Carolina Panthers under 17.5 points against the LA Rams. 1, I watched Carolina play football last night.
Right.
2, they'll have to get to 18 points for this bet to lose. Seems improbable against a Rams defense that I actually think is playing just as well, if not better, than their offense this year.
Yeah. Bryce looked like he just kind of took a step back last night. That interception
just changed the whole game.
Brutal. I know there was pass interference, but it felt like he could have run it in.
He could have walked in.
It felt like there was another open guy before. Anyway.
I've seen enough from Bryce, I think.
Give me the Texans getting 4.5 against your Colts, Jay. This defense can keep them in any game, any single game. 4.5. They don't have to do much on offense to be in this one. I like the Texans' mojo right now. They got it rolling.
Especially with Daniel Jones potentially not 100%.
He needs a new fibula.
I'm taking the
Timu.
Yeah, right. I mean, they're available apparently. I'm taking the under 47.5. Steelers and Bills. The game's in Pittsburgh. First off, the Steelers' defense has gotten a lot better, and we just saw how bad that offensive line was for Buffalo. The way Pittsburgh moves the ball is by running the ball. They're not going to light it up, whether it's Rodgers or Mason Rudolph. So that feels like a high number, 47.5 for two offenses that are struggling a little bit, especially on the road to Pittsburgh where there's a good defense.
The season of unders.
Season of unders.
Especially on these
Wonderful season.
Season of unders. It's a season of fibulas.
Yeah.
A lot going on. No one noticed the sippy cup.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, Matthew needs it.
Yeah, we make Kevin drink free, and now he's full of himself, and he's giving me trouble.
Well done, Kevin.
Anyway, listen,
Kevin
that music
Brady.
means you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. For Connor and Jay, I'm Matthew. We'll see you back tomorrow. Good luck on waivers tonight. Peace out.